I'm going to be showing you how to make a selective color edit in Camera Raw. The first thing that you're going to want to do is highlight an image that you want to use and open it up in Camera Raw. Once it's open in Camera Raw, if you have made a Camera Raw edit already, one of the ways that you can do is set to original crop, and it will go back to the original crop. And the other thing is you can go up here and reset Camera Raw defaults. That is if you want to make a new edit. And I'm going to make a quick edit here. And the only part of this image that I'm really paying attention to is this part here, because this is the area that is going to be in color. I'm not worried about what the background looks like. And I'm going to go into here. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. So at this point, I'm ready to start my selective color edit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the tool bar and I'm going to choose the adjustment brush. Once I have hit the adjustment brush, there's a couple things that you want to take notice. Right here, the adjustment brush, there is 3 options: to add a new one, which is what we're going to start with, to add to an already adjustment that you've started, or to erase an adjustment. And we are going to start, you can add anything, any adjustment to the brush, and what we're going to be doing, if you have any numbers here, they should all be at 0 when you first start. If there are, you can always click and the minus or the plus of whichever one you want to adjust, and it will set all of the markers to 0. And then the one thing that we're going to change is we're going to set this saturation to -100. Okay, so once we have at negative saturation, -100, then what we're going to do is we are going to go down and take a look at some of the brush settings. The size will depend on, will vary, and so you can change the size over here, but I typically like to use the bracket keys, which are to the right of the P. The left bracket makes it smaller and the right bracket makes the brush bigger. And for this project, I typically go smaller. The feather is going to be anywhere from 60 to 80. Gives it a nice kind of soft edge. And the flow and density, you're going to set both of those to 100. And you are going to check mark auto mask. All right. Once you are ready to start coloring, you're going to click on your image somewhere on the background, and you're going to start coloring. And you're going to notice where I color, it's turning black and white. And I am using a fairly large brush. Sometimes it takes a couple swipes to go over. I'm using a fairly large brush in the areas that are large areas and getting kind of close into here. There we go. Okay, now that I have that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and I can go down here and zoom in like that. Or I can command minus or plus to get, that will also zoom in. If you're zoomed fairly close like this, you can always press the space bar on the keyboard, and your cursor will turn into a hand, and then you can move it around. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to minus this out, and I'm going to start coloring around here. I'm just following that edge. It's like coloring a coloring book, really. And I can, that's fairly small in there, so I'm going to make that really small. Depending on what you're coloring, I typically like to do like an outline and then go in and color that out. Okay, so notice now that we are, we have that pin. Let me show you the pin again. Notice that this pin is our adjustment, and it is red because it's an active pin. Okay, so I can be coloring because this is active. Okay, and it is adding the adjustment. The adjustment is our black and white adjustment. Okay, now let's say I go in and I accidentally color or add the adjustment to an area that I don't want the adjustment on. Okay, we're going to look under the adjustment brush here, and right now it is on add. So what I want to do is erase the adjustment. So I'm going to click on erase, and then I'm going to zoom in to that area. And when I erase, it's erasing the adjustment, which is that black and white adjustment that we added in. Hence, it's bringing back the color. Okay. Sometimes there's a tiny bit of a lag in coloring and then having Camera Raw actually bring the color back, as you can see here. So as you color this, you're going to switch back and forth from add to erase until you get your focal point colored. What I'm going to be looking for when I grade this is that you have good craftsmanship in your lines and your edges are nice and clean. Have your adjustment completely colored in. What you're going to be doing is you're going to go ahead and save your image just like normal. Save image. Save. And then I want to definitely press done so that if I realize later that there's an area I missed, I can simply go back into Camera Raw, go onto the adjustment brush, and notice that this pin is no longer active. So if I were to press on it, it would create a new pin, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to actually delete this by just pressing delete, and I can actually press that, and it's showing me the mask right now. Okay, there we go. And I can then zoom into the area that I missed, and I want to erase. Actually, I want to add the adjustment. I'm going to clean that up just a tiny bit. And now I can go ahead and save the image again. And then press done after it saves. I always want to wait until it's done saving until I press done. And I have, that is my first save. This is my second save because it put an _1. If I did it again, it would have an _2. All right, and there it is.